How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Enotria, the last song. So today I wanted to bring you starting a series of build videos or build loadouts for the game and the masks, starting off here with Curtis. So let's go into the menu here and show you what we put together. Now, this one we kind of put together on the second part of my live stream series for the demo, um, but kind of refined it a bit here. Now, this loadout system kind of reminds me of Code Vein. You have like your aspect pretty much here is it's almost like the blood code. It's got positives and negatives. And then your perks kind of remind me of the gifts and stuff like that because these give you bonuses for what you're putting on, and then the Massline system reminds me of the gifts as well. So starting off here, let's start with the weapons. Well, actually, let's start with the mask. So the Curtis mask gives you your status power is increased. However, you suffer damage from all sources. So it's kind of a risk reward system here. In addition, perfectly pairing an attack charges up your mass lines. Okay, so we're kind of going for an elemental system here. Now, one thing to note, the mask is kind of grayed out here, and that is because it requires 25 fortitude. Now, I do have that. However, I am using the aspect of Vermiglio, which takes away 9 fortitude, so I am under the threshold. Now, you might be saying, okay, well, why are you using that? Well, this aspect increases your Ardore power, your elemental power, and your status power all by 10%. So we saw in the mask that your status power is increased, and then here your status power is increased as well, including your elemental power. So going to the perks here. Suffering melee damage causes the attacker to take physical damage in return. Perfectly pairing an attack heals you for a portion of your maximum health. The effect is improved when you are low on health. Your status power and the damage dealt by finishing attacks are increased. So yet again here we see status power. Now we'll go into what that is in a minute. Dealing damage with a weapon briefly increases your physical defense. So the fact that this mask you're taking more damage from all sources, I figured physical defense, any kind of defense, extra defense is good here. While you're affected by Wicked, your elemental power is increased even further. Okay, well, this one is important because the way the elemental statuses are done in this game are extremely well done. They are very different from other Soulslikes. Basically, you have a positive effect that you're getting from a status effect and a negative effect. So in this case, with Wicked or Fatuo, basically, if you're affected with Wicked, you are gonna deal. If you're using an elemental weapon, which we are here, your elemental power is increased. The same thing goes for enemies. If they have a red glow around them, they are affected with Wicked, and if they're using elemental buffs on their weapons, you better watch out because they're gonna hit really hard. Especially with Curtis, you're gonna get hit pretty hard. So it's one of those things, it's a risk reward, which I really like here. I mean, all this put together is really doing a lot. We'll showcase that here. And the last one, upon casting a Massline equipped in slot 1, your weapon is briefly infused with Gratia. Now, Gratia does Radiance damage. Now, I feel like Radiance, at least from the demo, really busted. Because basically, when you affect a enemy with Radiance, basically you're getting like explosions. Like if you're passive and you sit back, they'll get healing, but as that healing effect is going off, and this obviously goes the same for you, if you're affected with Radiance and an enemy damages you, you're going to get an explosion set off. Again, we'll go into that. So those are all the perks, pretty powerful. You could also, for the aspect, you could also use Curtis, the aspect of Curtis. That way, you're going to see, like, I have Masslines that have that 25 fortitude requirement as well, but I'm not able to use them just because I'm taking that hit in fortitude. Now, I have farmed quite a bit in the demo to kind of compensate for, do testing and compensate for the stats that I'm getting minuses in for the aspects, but I wasn't about to farm up another 9 levels in fortitude. But honestly, with the increased damages you're getting from Vermiglio, in my testing with the weapon I'm using, I was getting better damage numbers. But you could use Curtis here. Because obviously that would take a while to farm up another 9 levels to, compensate for that. So to start off with, you could use the aspect of Curtis. Okay, so going into the weapons, we're using the Penance Bearer, and that is +6, which is max level in the demo. Now, I have to go into another menu to show you, but we see elemental damage and the status damage. And the status damage, we do have Radiant, like I said. So that is 760, and then Gratia on the elemental damage is 337. Physical damage is 207. Ardore damage is 116, and the unraveling damage is 380. Now, you do have a couple other options here, but this one seemed the best. This weapon does drop from the mace wielding hooded enemies in the second area. So your other option here, you get this very early on in the demo. The gavel is a little drop down spot, like near the first lumberjack that you encounter in the shores of Quinta. So this also has Radiant, and as you see in elemental damage, it has Gratia as well. Now, I don't know the difference here. If someone knows, feel free to say in the comments. But my assumption is that the elemental damage, it's making it easier to apply Radiant to the enemy in the elemental damage section. Now, in my testing, it seems like R2 attacks are a better way and surefire way for the Radiance explosions to go off on enemies, and I'll kind of showcase that. So that's one option you can do with Radiance here. And then we also, for the secondary weapon, we're using the Silver Wasp, which +6 maxed out. That does Milano, which does Sick. Now that status ailment allows you to do damage over time to the enemy, but if you apply it to them, you're going to get it as well. So you just have to be careful that you're applying that to yourself. Now, another weapon that I like to use with this too is the Blessed Rapier. Radiance. The Radiant status damage, we're getting 788, and you can see that the physical Ardore and Unraveling are pretty on par with the Penance Bearer, and then, as you saw too with the gavel, that's pretty on par as well. But like I said in my testing, the R2 attacks on the Penance Bearer are giving about 800 damage for an R2 attack, and like the gavel, for instance, is only doing like about 600 damage for an R2 attack, so seems to be more potent. The Silver Wasp, the only thing about that is you need to hit the enemy about 4 or 5 times to actually apply Milano, so a little less reliable in the getting that status off. I think there are skills. Well, there's a skill or a perk that allows you to, if you infuse your weapon, which one of the perks over here we're infusing with Radiant when we kick off a Massline. There is a perk later on, it's locked in the demo, that you can, the infusion lasts longer, which it doesn't last long at all, but in doing that, that, and you do a single R2 attack, I was getting like 1100 damage on a single R2. So 300 damage difference there. So for Masslines, like I said, these two down here, I can't use. Wait a minute. There we go. So we'll go through the order here. The step backward and immediately follow up. So this is the one that will infuse my weapon when I use it because it's in slot 1. This one is the Drunken Sword. It infuses your weapon, or not infuses your weapon, but it does a Vis attack, which is dizzy. And then this is Curtis's move, slams his weapon into the ground. So again, I can't use that because that has the 25 fortitude requirement. For some reason it's not going over to the left when I hit the D-pad. Then Wrathful Change, the Ardore shield, which is Curtis's move as well. That Massline's actually pretty good. I used it on the on Vermiglio himself, the second boss of the demo, who was pretty challenging. So let's see. So that is it for equipment, Masslines, masks, perks, and all that. So I was going to show you. So the status power increases the effectiveness of attacks that inflict status effects. So that basically is what the mask is all about here. And then elemental power, it increases the amount of elemental damage you deal. So those are really the differences there. So let's showcase what this baby can do. So single R2. Now you saw those explosions go off. These are. It's gonna let her smack me because I'm trying to demonstrate. See, an explosion did go off there for I was using R1s. Okay, lady. Goodbye. So you can see the damage that we dish out. Let me see if I can get affected by Wicked by these mages. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So it's about the same damage, but I don't think I fully had the status effect on me. But trust me, going through this area and using Curtis and Radiance to your advantage is extremely potent. And the mages hit really hard in this area, but if you have Curtis on, I should show my stats here because I have farmed quite a bit, and like I said, that is to kind of test out the masks and the aspects to their fullest extent. Besides Vermiglio's there. So I wasn't about to. It's about 12,000 to level up now, so wasn't about to farm up another 9 levels. So we got 25 fortitude, 20 cunning, 28 in attunement. Again, that is to take into account for I forget what it was. One of the Masslines or the aspects. Same with this. You get -8 in alacrity for Vermiglio, so that's why it's 18, and then 24 for erudition. So that's what your stats would look like to pretty much compensate for weapon requirements like the Blessed Rapier. And because if you use the Blessed Rapier with Curtis, you're going to get minus in the stats that you actually need to wield that weapon. So again, that's why attunement's pretty high, as well as erudition. So yeah, that is about it. Very cool build. Be a lot of fun going through the regular game with this, and honestly, I may use it, especially when you're getting, like I said, affected with Wicked, it's very, very potent. So those two statuses together, very powerful. So if you guys got any questions, let me know below. That is going to do it for now. So hopefully you're all doing well. Stay tuned. More coming at you. Take care. Arrivederci.